Welcome back to the Central Indiana Sports Report, high school football fans, and welcome to our Week 10 Scoreboard show. Week 10, of course, being the opening round of the sectionals, opening round of the postseason. And we will get you all the scores and highlights from around Central Indiana and all the scores from around the state. And after the scoreboard, we will have an interview with Jeff Adamson of the Eastbrook Panthers, who won a wild game against Alexandria on Friday. I've been watching football for 50 years, and it's one of the craziest finishes you will ever see. And later this weekend, I will hear from Michelle Garman and Grant Schaus when we will do part 2 of the Scoreboard show, our roundtable. Looking forward to hearing from Grant because he was at that Eastbrook Alexandria game. Friday night was one of those rare nights where I was unavailable, so the Scoreboard show is a little late, but it's here right now. We will start with the only game in Class A and work our way down to Class 1A. Before we do that, something I learned in the last week or two while looking at our listener analytics is that likes are way more important than I thought. Every time someone hits the like button on one of our podcasts, no matter if it's YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, or Amazon, that spreads the podcast out to others who might be interested. So please do us a huge favor and like this podcast. And please consider subscribing if you'd like us to continue to do what we're doing, which is bringing you the scores right now. Of course, classes 5A and 6A get underway next week. We will have previews of those coming up this week. The only game in the state that was played in Class 5A this week was number 8 Whiteland 42-14 over Seymour. The Warriors are now 8-2. They led 42-0 at the half, and will play at Franklin next week. Seymour is the only program in the entire Class 5A that will not be playing next Friday. Strange little quirk. Don't know why they didn't just move a team down to 4A, but whatever. And we move to Class 4A Sectional 17 at the very top of Indiana. And that's where Lowell defeated Hanover Central 56-21. Lowell now 8-2. And in one of the craziest games of the night, it was East Chicago Central 58-56 over Highland in 3 overtimes. Kankakee Valley defeated Gary West 15-6. And Hobart defeated New Prairie 50-14. Hobart now 8-2. And the Brickies and Lowell will both be heavy favorites in the semifinals in that sectional next Friday. Sectional 18, Plymouth defeated South Bend, Washington 44-23. And 4th-ranked Mishawaka defeated Northwood 28-14. Mishawaka now 9-1 on the year. Northridge beat Wawasee 35-26. And South Bend St. Joe rolled past South Bend Riley 35-0. St. Joe ranked 11th. And it looks like Mishawaka and St. Joe are headed on a crash course for the championship game. Sectional 19 in the Fort Wayne area, it was Southside 52-14 over Wayne. Wayne's season ends without a win. And top-ranked East Noble defeated New Haven 48-12 to remain unbeaten. Don't know how they jumped over Chittard in the rankings. Okay. East Noble has a pretty easy path to the championship game. On the other side, though, it is packed with good teams. It was number 6 Dwenger over number 8 Leo 31-7. Dwenger now 8-2. And Columbia City upset number 12 DeKalb 16-10. Setting up what should be a good win next week, Dwenger versus Columbia City. We move to Sectional 20 and our first local sectional. And our first local team, Lebanon, defeated Culver Academy 39-19 to advance. The Tigers are now 8-2. They are a winless Frankfurt next week. And unless something goes horribly wrong, they should be playing for their second sectional championship in program history in 2 weeks. Muncie Central won its first sectional game in 9 years, 48-21 over rival Marion. The Bearcats' second win over Marion this year. Central is now 6-4 and had a big fourth quarter in this one, pulling away late for the victory. And in the game of the night in the sectional, Logansport knocked off defending sectional champion Huntington North 15-12 in a defensive battle. Elliot Baldini scored on a 1-yard plunge in the fourth quarter for the game winner. The Berries had 312 yards on the ground. Logansport is at Muncie Central next week, and that too should be a very good one. Sectional 21, as we approach Central Indiana, it was Beech Grove 55-13 over Richmond for the Hornets' 7th win of the season. They are at 7-2 and 9th ranked Yorktown next week. 5th ranked Pendleton Heights defeated Mount Vernon 45-14 to go to 9-1. Joel Weaver had 5 touchdown runs and 253 yards in the win. After beating Newcastle by 40 points last week, Greenfield Central needed overtime to beat the Trojans on Friday night in the opening round of the sectional, 26-20 for it clinches Greenfield's 5th straight winning season. Braylon Benavente scored the game winner in overtime for the Cougars. There are multiple teams that deserve to be a sectional champion in Sectional 22. It is that good, and maybe in the game of the night across the state, it was number 7 Roncalli 54-32 over 10th ranked Northview. Alex Jarvis and quarterback Colin Ash combined for 273 yards and 6 touchdowns for the Royals. Roncalli will have another tough test next week when they face Danville. Danville defeated Shortridge 55-7 on Friday to advance. On the other side of the bracket, it was number 3 Chittard 48-14 over Mooresville. And as I said earlier, that number 3 ranking is too low. Chittard will play Brebeuf, which defeated Crispus Attucks 56-14 in the other quarterfinal of Sectional 22. In perhaps the most wide open sectional in the entire state, Sectional 23, just south of the Indianapolis area, stretching all the way down to the very bottom of Indiana, it was Bedford picking up its 7th win of the season, 50-0 over Jennings County, and Shelbyville getting its 5th win of the season, 35-14 over Connorsville. On the other side of the bracket, it was defending regional champion Martinsville 35-31 over Greenwood, and Charlestown 51-26 over rival Silver Creek. Still a wide open sectional. All 4 of those teams are about even. And we move to Sectional 24, where defending state champion Heritage Hills had 0 difficulty defeating Washington 56-7. The Patriots will host Evansville Wrights next Friday. Wrights defeated Central 37-13. On the other side of the bracket, Jasper got its 8th win of the season, 14-0 over rival Boonville, and Harrison defeated Bosse 50-6. So it'll be Jasper and Harrison next Friday. And now we move to Class 3A, and again start at the top of the state, and that is where Miles McLaughlin from the Clan McLaughlin is doing his thing. 457 yards and 6 touchdowns on Friday night to become the 2nd running back in Indiana history to go over 10,000 yards. In 5th-ranked Knox 50-21 win over Jimtown. The Redskins are now 10-0. Miles McLaughlin now trails Charlie Spiegel by just 740 yards for the state record. Big game for the Redskins at home next week against 9-1 Griffith, which defeated Hammond Knoll 62-8. So that should be one of the best games in the state next Friday. Seems like that's one that could go either way. The other half of the bracket, not so much. Defending sectional champion Marion easily won 56-14 over River Forest. And Calumet defeated Glenn 42-23 to improve to 6-4, but we're pretty sure who's going to come out of that side, and that is the Knights. To sectional 26, just outside of Fort Wayne, and actually it does have one Fort Wayne school in it, and that's Concordia, which took a 42-0 defeat to 14th ranked West Noble. West Noble now 8-2. The Chargers will face Angola next week after the Hornets upset number 7 Tippecanoe Valley 21-6. On the other half of the bracket, Defending regional champion Garrett defeated Fairfield 7-0, and Lakeland defeated Woodland 32-0. Sectional 27, our first local sectional in Class 3A, is my alma mater. The Frankton Eagles defeated Benton Central 59-32 for their second win of the year. The Eagles led 23-8 after the first quarter and 44-8 at the half, and they will be at home next week against Western after the Panthers defeated West Lafayette for the second time this season 20-14. Levi Shoemaker had 201 yards on 44 carries and was 4 for 4 passing in the win, according to Brian Gaskins of the Kokomo Tribune. Peru upset Northwestern 47-14 behind Isaiah Corba, who had 237 yards on 28 carries, and Ryan Babbs, who had 154 yards and 2 touchdowns, according to Mark Saluki of the Kokomo Tribune. And in one of the top games of the night in Class 3A, it was number 9 Twin Lakes over number 10 Maconaquah, 36-20. The Indians are now 8-2 on the year and are the clear favorites on their half of the bracket. It's looking like Western and Twin Lakes in the championship. It was an all-Grant County opener in Sectional 28, and 6th-ranked Mississinawa beat rival Oak Hill for the second time this season, 21-7. Jeremy Lochner's Indians will take on 4-6 Jay County next Friday after the Patriots defeated Belmont 38-0. And 10th-ranked Lures defeated Delta 38-7. The defending semi-state champions will take on Norwell after the Knights upset Heritage 21-6 on Friday. And it was an all Hamilton County opener in Sectional 29 as 16th-ranked Garin Catholic defeated Hamilton Heights 36-21 to improve to 6-4. Colby Clee had over 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes in the first half alone in the victory, according to Richard Torres of the Indianapolis Star. Garin will be at home in the semifinal 5-5 Crawfordsville after the Athenians defeated the Speedway Spark Plugs 35-0. On the other and tougher side of the bracket, 3rd-ranked and unbeaten Cascade defeated Indianapolis Washington 58-0, and 8th-ranked Tri-West defeated West Vigo 35-14. So Cascade will be at Tri-West in the semifinal next week, and that should be a good one. In Sectional 30, it was Franklin County 33-14 over defending regional champion Batesville. However, Batesville only won 3 games this year. That was win number 8 for the Wildcats. Franklin County will host 8-1 and 4th-ranked Lawrenceburg, which drew the bye in the semifinal next week, and the champion is likely to come out of that one. On the other half of the bracket, Greensburg defeated Purdue Inglewood 36-12 for their 3rd win of the season, and South Dearborn shut out Rushville 49-0 for their 5th win of the year. It'll be Greensburg and South Dearborn in the other semifinal. Sectional 31, in the southern part of the state, it was Madison 47-14 over Owen Valley. The Cubs are now 2-8 and will host 13th-ranked Indian Creek next Friday. On the other half of the draw, it's 4-6 North Harrison 35-34 over rival Corydon, and 12th-ranked Scottsburg improves to 8-2 with a 31-7 win over Edgewood. And in the Evansville area, it was 2nd-ranked Gibson Southern 50-12 over Vincennes. The 9-1 Titans host 9-0 and unbeaten number 1 Evansville Memorial next Friday in the semifinal, and the state champion may come out of that one. In the other half of the draw, it was Southridge 26-7 over Mount Vernon. Southridge is now 6-4, and 5-5 and 15th-ranked Mater Dei 70-6 over Princeton. And in Class 2A, we start at the tippy top of the state, as we always do, with sectional number 23, where 14th-ranked Rensselaer Central ran through Boone Grove 57-0 to improve to 8-2. And Bremen is 6-4 after a 34-0 shutout over Whiting. Rensselaer Central at Bremen in the semifinal next Friday. A couple of ranked teams will play each other in the other half of the bracket in the semifinal round after 12th ranked and 9-1 Wheeler defeated Lake Central 70-7. Wheeler hosts 8-1 and 4th ranked Andrean in the sectional final after the 59ers drew a first round bye. Sectional 34, 9-1 Southmont defeated Delphi 48-12. Western Boone got past North Putnam 49-42, so it'll be Southmont at Western Boone. In next Friday's semifinal, Southmont defeated the Stars 26-23 on October 3rd. In the other half, Seeger is now 9-1 after defeating Lafayette Central Catholic 28-27, and Lewis Cass improved to 7-3 with a 55-20 win over North Montgomery. The Kings will host the Seeger Panthers next Friday in the semifinal round. Sectional 35, it was Manchester 42-0 over Prairie Heights. The Squires will be at Eastside in the semifinal next week after the Blazers defeated Whitco 48-0. Eastside ranked 11th is now 8-2. Defending state champion Adams Central rolled to a 70-13 win over Central Noble, and 8th ranked Bluffton 39-38 over Cherubusco. Very good Cherubusco team. To set up number 1 Adams Central at number 8 Bluffton next week in a rematch. It was all Jets the first time around. We'll see if Bluffton has something for them this time around. And in the game of the night, at least in the Central Indiana Sports Report region, it was unbeaten, and number 5 Eastbrook 37-36 in overtime over 14th ranked Alexandria. And I've been watching football for 50 years. Seriously, maybe the craziest finish I've ever seen at any level. Just the last few seconds alone in overtime, including an 80-yard touchdown run by Bodie Howell as time expired that was called back for a holding, which set up a Hail Mary on an untimed down that Bodie Howell completed to send the game into overtime. And then Eastbrook went for 2 after Alexandria scored 7 points on their possession to try to get the win, and Bodie Howell crossed the line by inches to give Eastbrook a 37-36 win. The Panthers will now be at Rochester next Friday. The 10th ranked Zebras defeated Elwood 44-0 to improve to 9-1. Eastbrook at Rochester next Friday can't be any better than the Eastbrook Alexandria game. And let me just say, that Alexandria team didn't win any championships this year, and that was a really, really good team. Congratulations to Coach Gast and his guys, and a great senior class at Alexandria. Despite the lack of championships, we do recognize you. On the other half of the draw, it was 13th ranked Eastern 53-7 over Blackford. The Comets are now 9-1. They led 40-0 less than 2 minutes into the second quarter. And Zane Durham scored 3 times as Tipton defeated Wabash 48-13 to improve to 6-4. The Blue Devils are in Greentown next Friday. Sectional 37 was 6th ranked and defending semi-state champion Lutheran 55-15 over Covenant Christian. 9-1 Lutheran faces 5-4 Park Tudor in the semifinal. If anyone's going to stop Lutheran from winning like its 1000th sectional in a row, it'll probably come from the other side of the bracket. That's where Heritage Christian defeated Ritter 42-22. The Eagles will face Monrovia in the next round after Monrovia defeated Cecina 47-29. And we are likely to see a Lutheran Heritage Christian final in that one. LaPel is 10-0 for the first time in program history after defeating Winchester 32-0 in the first round of sectional 38. The first points of the game were not scored till right before halftime, but the second half was all LaPel. The Bulldogs are at Eastern Hancock next week. LaPel beat the Royals last week in a thriller. The bad news for LaPel is the last 3 times the Bulldogs and Royals played each other in the regular season finale and then played each other in the sectional. The team that lost the regular season game won the postseason game, so that, I guess, favors Eastern Hancock, although I think Lapel might have something to say about it. A couple of 9-win teams advance out of the other side. It was Northeastern 34-7 over Shenandoah. The Raiders' season ends at 6-3. And 7th-ranked Triton Central got past Centerville 22-19. That's 34 wins for the 4 teams in the Sectional 38 semifinal. In Sectional 39, Sullivan improved to 7-3 with a 70-14 win over South Vermilion. And North Posey improved to 7-3 with a 50-6 win over winless Pike Central. On the other half, Greencastle defeated Brown County 63-14, and 8th-ranked Linton improved to 7-3 with a 69-12 win over Mitchell. Of course, Linton is the defending semi-state champion. And in Sectional 40, the last sectional in Class 2A, the legend of Jason Hawkins just continues to grow after taking a Charlestown program to new heights. Hawkins goes to his alma mater, Clarksville, and turns one of the worst programs in the state into a 5-win team in his first year after a 42-8 win over Crawford County in the opener on Friday. The Generals will take on the Switzerland County Pacers after they defeated Salem 41-33. In the other half of the bracket, it's Reed, Mays, Brownstown Central Braves, the huge favorites in the sectional, 48-0 over Tell City. They will take on a pretty good test next week in an 8-win Paoli team after the Rams defeated Eastern Pekin 50-0. And we move to Class A, and we start in the north of the state where 5th-ranked North Judson, the defending semi-state champions, defeated South Central 59-6 in Sectional 41. They will take on 6-4 LaVille after LaVille defeated Culver 35-0. On the other half of the bracket, it was 11th-ranked West Central 74-12 over South Newton. And Bowman Academy got past North Newton 36-30. In Sectional 42, defending sectional champion Taylor got off to a great start in defending their sectional with a 85-6 win over North White. The Titans are now 5-3 on the year. Big nights from Javion Harris and Zaven Pugh for the Titans. Taylor will take on 12th-ranked Carroll after the Cougars defeated Winnemac 27-14 to improve to 6-3 on the year. Cale Peters had 3 touchdown runs for Carroll, and they will host Taylor next week. Carroll defeated the Titans 48-21 in the HHC opener a long time ago. The other half of the bracket went exactly as expected as 6th-ranked Frontier defeated Tri-County 50-14, and 4th-ranked Pioneer got past Caston 35-0. It will be Frontier at Pioneer next week. Sectional 43, the sectional favorite North Miami defeated Northfield 47-6 and will host Southwood next week after the Knights got a first-round bye. On the other half of the bracket, a couple of 7-win teams as Triton got past Southern Wells 60-28, and Fremont advanced with a 48-10 win over Fort Wayne Blackhawk. In Sectional 4, defending sectional champion South Adams ended Madison Grant's season for the second year in a row with a 45-28 victory. The 10th-ranked Starfires will take on Tri after Tri ended West Dell's season with a 45-7 victory. The other half of the bracket is Hagerstown 31-13 over Union City, and Monroe Central 49, Cambridge City 0. It's likely to be South Adams against Monroe Central in that sectional championship. In Sectional 45, it was defending regional champion and 3rd-ranked South Putnam 68-14 over Attica, and Fountain Central 47-6 over Park Heritage. It'll be South Putnam and Fountain Central next Friday. In the other half, 6th-ranked Riverton Park 46, North Vermilion 6, and North Central beat Covington 28-26. Riverton Park is now 10-0, North Central 7-3 heading into next week's semifinal. Only one game in Sectional 46, and it was Cloverdale 42-14 over Clinton Central. Cloverdale will be at winless Tinley next week. In the other half of the bracket, 6-2 and 13th ranked Sheridan will be at Clinton Prairie. Sheridan defeated the Gophers 40-8. That was a long time ago and in a different location. Let's see if that gives any advantage back to the Gophers. And sectional 47, Eastern and Green advanced to the second round with a 34-20 win over South Decatur and will host Milan next week after Milan got a first round bye. The other half of the bracket, Knightstown defeated West Washington 46-7 and 8th ranked North Decatur 56-12 over Greenwood Christian. And sectional 48, defending state champion Providence had no problem getting past North Knox 41-14 to improve to 7-2 on the year. Next week, it'll be the defending state champion Pioneers at top-ranked Springs Valley after the Blackhawks remained unbeaten with a 46-0 win over Forest Park. Providence has eliminated Springs Valley each of the last 3 seasons. Let's see if the number 1 Blackhawks can get it done in the semifinal on Friday. Again, sectional 48, the other half of the draw, 9th-ranked North Davies 54-6 over Perry Central, and Tecumseh 21-6 over South Spencer. That's all of them. Please stay tuned for an interview with Eastbrook head coach Jeff Adamson after his Panthers won just an absolutely unforgettable 37-36 overtime win over Alexandria. Let's hear about it from Coach Adamson. Coach, I am older than 50 years old, and I've seen an awful lot of football. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
Well, I'm older than that, and I hadn't seen it finished like that either. So
crazy. How many times in your mind had you given up on that game? I mean, you're at the 5-yard line with 4 seconds to go. You're thinking about the offseason, right?
Really not. I mean, I'm not, and I'm only saying it from this standpoint, just that, man, these guys have been so great to be around. It was, you didn't want to just give up on the season yet. I mean, it's, we called timeouts and all those kind of things at the end of the game, and just for a chance to run one more play. And I'm not saying this to be boastful at all or anything else, but we practice a situation every Thursday in the game situation where we're too far to be able to throw like a Hail Mary or just get the ball to the end zone, and that's what that play was. And not that it's not necessarily designed to go for 75 or 80 yards, however many it went for, but the guys had a plan, and they knew that there was something left that they could do. And Bodie just had a heck of a incredible effort in getting down there. Crazy. And, and so many guys downfield blocking for him too. That's right. Really impressive.
Broke at least a half dozen tackles. Could barely keep running. He was so tired at the end of the play, and still found his way into the end zone. He had to have run 200 yards on that play.
Yeah, and it didn't count. That's the crazy part of it. Got called back for a block in the back, and then had to run another play, and we just tried to get something where Bodie could get out of the pocket a little bit and buy some time so the receivers could get far enough downfield. And Matthew Slater caught the pass. He's really not the first, second, maybe not even the third option on that route, but kind of came back to the ball after Bodie had scrambled, and Bodie just saw him, and he made a really nice catch on it.
He did, over 2 guys.
Yeah, and so that got us into overtime, and then still not yet. We still had to get the two-point
conversion. Yeah, that's right.
And Miles Brown made a nice catch on but Bodie was having to throw on the run a little bit, kind of off his back foot, and it was a little short, so Miles had to come back for it, and made a catch there. And then overtime wasn't any different than the rest of the game. It felt like Alexandria scored on their first play, kicked it, and then we ran a couple plays. Bodie got in on a run, and we knew we had to go for two. We just couldn't stop Alexandria. That was going to be our best chance, and Bodie had a nice run. We had it blocked well and got in.
Winning a conference championship is great, but beating a team that good in a sectional, man, that's an all-timer.
Well, we've had some really awesome games with Alexandria the last couple of years. Last year in the regular season, we had kind of a similar thing as tonight. It came down to the very last play of the game. But it's just really proud of the guys for staying in the moment and thinking about the play. It's really tough on seniors when you get in the tournament, and there's so many momentum swings, and eventually, as it gets towards the end of the game, guys start thinking, is this going to be my last game? Is this, and you still got to play. It's hard to get 17, 18-year-olds to think that way, but I thought they did a pretty good job with that.
Awfully big challenge you got past in the first round, and now you're just going to have to go do it again. Go to Rochester. Of course, you'll be at home against another really good team, no matter who would be in this championship. So survive and advance at its best, right?
Yeah, and we got a long bus ride, about an hour and a half bus ride to get there. I think we saw Rochester's giving up like just under 5 points a game.
That's right.
And they're really, really good. Kind of moved through that conference pretty well through the course of the season, scoring a lot of points too. So I'm sure we're going to have our hands full with them.
Yeah, 5 shutouts, and only one team scored more than 7 points against them. Pretty amazing. Coach, if you don't mind, you talked about Alexandria a little. The fact that group of seniors is never going to win a sectional championship is a little strange with how good they were. And if you don't mind, talk about that senior class over there in Alexandria and how good they were.
Well, I thought as good as Gast was, and he's phenomenal. He's the first guy I looked for after the game, even past our own guys. I thought he had a tremendous game last night and a fantastic career. I just want to make sure and acknowledge his performance, and not just for last night, but for his whole career. I'd be lying if I said I'm not happy that he's graduating, but he's just a really phenomenal player. But I thought the guys on defense also played extremely well. Gosh, they just got to the ball so well, and it just kind of felt like we had different times we had to play blocked well, and things would disappear. Just got off of blocks, got to the ball, and they really came out with a lot of energy in the second half, and got a turnover that led to a score, and got a big 4th down stop on us, and scored off of that to take the lead, and just wrote it down there till the very end of the game.
Coach Adamson, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it as always, and good luck going forward.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much to Coach Adamson for joining us. Always appreciate his time. He is truly one of the best, and I don't mean just as a coach. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susie.